All right, so we're going to look at one other method of adding fractions, and that is with using models. So I've already got this problem started, 1/2 plus 1/4, so I'm going to use the rectangular boxes. And so with this first one, I'm going to cut it in half to show a half. And then with this second one, to show 1/4, I'm going to divide it into fourths, but I'm going to use horizontal bars this time. And that's what, when you're doing these, that's what I want you to do. If for the first one, if you use vertical, then use horizontal for the other. Just, it doesn't matter which one you do first, as long as one is vertical and one's horizontal. That will help keep the models more easy to understand as we're going through these. So what I need to do now is find like units. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to cut my half into fourths. Since my second fraction is cut into fourths, in order to make like units, I want to cut it into fourths. So now I can, see that I didn't change anything that was shaded. So I still have an equal amount, but now I have more pieces. So 1/2 would be the same thing as 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. So 1/2 is the same as 4/8. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my fourth. I'm going to make it have like units by cutting it in half. So I'm going to cut it in half. And again, nothing new was shaded, but I do have now 8 pieces in this one. So I've got a common unit now. That helped me to get my common unit. So I've got 8 total pieces, and I have 2 of them shaded. So now if I add these together, 4/8 plus 2/8 gives me 6/8. Now, some of you may have noticed, whenever I made the like units, what was happening, whenever I changed this one to fourths, I was actually multiplying by 4/4. So that gives me the 4/8. And then here, whenever I cut it in half, I was multiplying by 2/2, and that gives me the 2/8. Now, one thing that you may have also noticed with this is that this can be simplified, and I could have used a smaller denominator. If I were to go through and look at my multiples, like we have been doing, if I counted out the multiples for 2 and the multiples for 4, we'll go ahead and do that right now. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Then I count my multiples of 4. So I've got 4, 8, 12, 16. So if we look at this list, we see several common multiples. I've got 12 here. I've got 8, and that's what we ended up here. But if I'm going to use my least common multiple, then 4 is going to be the least common multiple. So 4 is actually the one that is the least. So if I wanted to use my least common multiple, then I would change them both to 4. And this one, the 1/4 is already 4. So all I would have to do is change my half. So I can see what I need to multiply the numerator by to get 4. Since 2 times 2 is 4, then I would multiply the numerator by 2. So 1 times 2 gives me 2. So now I've got 1/4 plus 2/4, which gives me 3/4. So if you'll notice, that's not what we got before. We got 6/8 because I had 4/8 plus 2/8. But 6/8 and 3/4 are equivalent. So, one way that we could check that, if I divided 6/8 divided by 2/2, a common factor, that would give me the 3/4. Or if I multiplied 3/4 by 2/2, that would give me 6/8. So you're going to see some more problems like this, and you can decide if you want to use the models or the least common multiple.